First place, number 175. Spike.
Hi, my name's Spike. I'm a draft horse. A percheron to be exact, and I was born to pull my weight and then some.
Oh, Spike. Oh, Spike. Oh, oh, oh.
Today I'm all duded up for a show. But that horse over there, that 2,000 pounds of stubborn, that's Smitty, my partner. He works better in harness.
Hello there. Excuse me.
And us workhorses have to have some harness. Oh, yes. Otherwise, we might be squashing people left and right. In the 1930s and 40s, we big draft horses all but disappeared from the American landscape. Farmers were told that they'd do more work and better with a tractor, so a lot of them bought machines to plow the fields and cut the grain. There's something practical about that, I suppose, but kind of heartless too, since machines can be cold and thankless things. And there was the choo-choo, sometimes called the iron horse. That took away some of our job security too. Oh, I ain't saying machines ain't helpful. I'd be a fool to deny their speed and power, but I gotta speak up for my ancestors and my pals here. The century's about to turn, and horses need to speak up or be forgotten.
Go ahead, Spike. You got the floor.
A machine won't fertilize a field like we can. And a machine won't drag you out of tight spots like we can. And in the end, a machine can't give back what's given us, and that's affection.
Come on up. Come on up. Come on up.
Of course, we have to depend on machines ourselves sometimes. We travel a lot of miles to the shows and the fairs, so we ride in trailers hauled by trucks.
This is the draft horse show that we're looking at here today.
You wouldn't think a horse could be a ham bone, but boy, do we love to get praised. And a few silver buttons on our harness add to the whole beautiful picture. You know what I mean? Kind of handsome like. That's Pat. She's a swing horse right in the middle. Spike and I take the lead because today we're the strongest and the most eager to get going. Tomorrow, that could change. Buster, he's Pat's partner in the swing position in the middle there. His nickname is Buster the Brat, but he's a good guy.
I am not.
Easy, easy.
Hey, move over there, Buster.
Buster!
Then Ike and Eddie are behind us all at the wheel.
Easy, easy. Whoa!
It wouldn't really do to have us thundering around the field wild and free, acting like a bunch of knuckleheads. So we gotta be hitched up in order to pull, and we have to be hitched together as a team to produce horsepower.
We'll take him down the line on stagecoach ride.
I mean real horsepower. None of this metal-roaring, gas-guzzling, air-polluting engine kind of stuff.
We're hay burners.
Yep, we eat what farmers grow. In the old days, that made a lot of sense.
It still makes a lot of sense. We're not so noisy either.
Well, we have our moments.
And you know how they measure our size?
In the refrigerators?
No, in hands.
Every hand is 4 inches. And you start in the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 hands.
Yep.
We horses have pulled farmers and soldiers out of many a scrape and scramble. Sometimes it just isn't strength, it's heart.
That's another kind of draft horse. Belgian. Popular breed and proud of their muscles. Belgians are built a little bigger, broader in the bone than we are.
There's all kinds and colors of draft horses. Some of them have shaggy socks like the Clydesdales and the Shires. Some of them are kind of puny. Those are Heflingers. Sweet, though. We were over at a plowing match the other day and saw Donna and Dixie, a real strong team of gray Percherons. They're the same breed as we are, just dappled gray, not black. Doesn't matter what color you are, whether you're a girl or a boy horse, as long as you do the job.
Hey, Dixie.
Hey, Smitty, how's it going?
Fine. Nice day for a plowing match, huh?
You gonna pull that rig all by yourself, Dix?
No, sir.
That's Mr. Layton from Stanfordville, New York.
This here's little gal. She's in training. She's gonna learn to pull together with the rest of us.
It don't matter who, what you are. If you're a nobody, or if you're a star, just doing what it is that you're supposed to do will get you where you're going. I'm going there too. We've got to pull together, you and me. We've got to pull together. It's more fun this way. We've got to pull together. Can't you see? We've got to pull together.
Yep, that's right. Pull together. In the old days, we draft horses pulled all kinds of equipment. We pulled ambulances and fire engines. We hauled paper and lumber and oil, and we worked in the mills, too. The guys that drove us were known as teamsters. We helped build nations, carry armies, change history.
We still work the fields in some parts of the country and help snake logs out through the forest where machines won't go or shouldn't go. We're a lot easier on the environment than bulldozers.
What we're doing here today, this is a very early tradition. We're trying to show you that the draft horse is still a very valuable animal. Now, if you had a little piece of wood and you didn't want to destroy all the trees, you'd take a good horse, a single horse for small logs, a pair for bigger logs, and you'd go up and you'd snake out your firewood or a good log that you wanted to save for timber. So you got to have a pretty clever horse and sneak around between other trees. That's what our cones represent. They are good trees.
They say this is the age of machine. But we're still here after thousands and thousands of years, and we're here because we got this bond with people. It's a special kind of partnership. It happened the first time a person leapt on a horse's back or threw a rope around our neck. Humankind became our masters and our friends. Once in a while we toss people or step on their feet, but we usually don't mean it.
Now there's a nice horse that gets kind of nutty sometimes. To step up onto a metal floor of a trailer is a scary thing, especially when the wind is kicking up in your ears. You ever have days like that? When things make you jumpy and you feel kind of like a jerk, but you can't help it?
Old-time farmers, they used oxen because they're not quite so excitable as horses. This here's Ben and Dave. They're English devils. People almost let them die out as a breed because they thought they didn't need them anymore. They're on the endangered species list. But coming back because of people like Frank here and every other farmer that cares about work animals.
And you got them going nice.
Since September, they double their weight. They gained about 800 pounds.
The trouble with oxen is, even though they could work in the field, they didn't look so great in harness when it was the farmer's time to go out and strut some stuff. Horses could do both. Plow, look handsome too, and go miles and miles in the snow if necessary.
Some of us have some pretty high and mighty ideas about ourselves, but heck, in the end, we're work animals. If we're not useful, we're meat on somebody's table or in somebody's can of dog food.
Ew.
Now, a horse won't carry you far or pull your load if it's got bad feet. And although this may sound weird to you two-legged humanoids, we horses walk on our toenails. A person called a farrier takes care of our feet.
The farrier clips our hooves and nails iron shoes to them so we can walk on the pavement without hurting ourselves.
Now, we can be a little heavy-footed. It takes a special kind of human to be a farrier. You gotta have steady nerves, good hands, and not take any guff from creatures like us. Now, this here is John Criz. He's 72 years old. He's been shoeing horses all his life. In the Army, he was part of the 1st Cavalry Division out of Fort Riley, Kansas. And that's a military unit full of horses and mules. You know, mules. Our long-eared cousins with the strong backs and a hankering to roll in the dirt any chance they get. Well, anyway, the 1st Cavalry served in World War II in the Pacific and ended up being the 1st American Division in Tokyo at the end of the war.
That was about 50 years ago.
Right. And the Japanese had this emperor.
Emperor's like a king, you know.
Right. And his favorite horse had sore feet.
The Emperor's royal court heard about John Criz, and they asked if he put shoes on the Emperor's horse.
When animals are in trouble, people forget their differences. After the war, John got this farm where we live and brought up his kids to love horses, learn how to shoe them. His boy Tim drives us black Percherons, and his boy Glenn prefers blondes. That team is 6 Belgians.
Just like everything else, we horses come in all different sizes, so our shoes are custom made. Mostly for our breed, the size is extra large, but there's no horse like a Clydesdale for some really big tootsies.
We go through shoes every 6 weeks. You might notice the fences around here are made of telephone poles. That'll give you an idea how strong we are. Not because we want to bust down the place or anything, but just because on occasion we like to rub up against something and scratch and itch. Molly and Dolly, the sisters, they've learned to take care of each other.
Now, John, he's also a horse trader, so people come and have a look at the horses in his stable to buy them, you know. This is a gray horse, and it's named Lana. The circus wants her to carry a leopard on her back.
They put a big heavy rug on there, big thick one like that. And then they teach us quite a trick, you know.
Now, he's trotting her out to show there's no problem with her gait. No hitch in her get-along, if you know what I mean.
It's best if a horse moves out smoothly, less bump for the rider and the wagon. When we're in a show, we're graded on how we move and how we hold our heads. Then there's the leather that goes on our backs. There's artistry there, man's handiwork. There's bridles and harness and doodads and brasses and ribbons too, and lots of humans have to help out. Sometimes we get all fancied up. Does this look silly?
All Percheron babies are born black, but some grow up light and some stay dark. Me, I think black is beautiful. Doc over there, he's a natural blonde. Your genes determine that. The gene pool is a collection of things that determine what you're born with, what your parents gave you, and your grandparents too. Sometimes that's a handsome nose, or white on your forehead, or big feet, or freckles on your skin, or, well, that goes for humans too, you know.
No point in being glum about what nature handed you, cuz there's not a lot you can do about it. Heck, if you're big like us, you gotta hang around with folks who like things big.
Hang on to your egg. That's a good one. Marker number 8. There's one you can have for breakfast, Mac.
Now, a lot of people might think horse like us wouldn't be very graceful. But you know, look at Doc over there. Now, they're just having fun. It helps to have a good rider up. That there's Lori Bryan. She's from Zerin, Iowa. She knows what she's doing. When horse and rider become one, it's like waltzing on the wind.
So now you've seen a lot of horses so far. We're all draft horses, just different breeds. We come from Europe, that's across the ocean.
Hundreds of years ago, they needed war horses to carry knights into battle. You know, those days when kings had crusades to fight, and enemy knights to skewer, and princesses to rescue. Now, these warriors were encased in metal from head to foot, and they carried a sword or a lance, with the whole package weighed a ton. It was just like running around with an iron kettle on your back, only this kettle was moving and swinging. A skinny old horse wouldn't do, so they bred the big horse to the bigger, to the biggest, until they came out with us. Big as they come, steady, gentle, strong, and brave.
In more modern times, horses carried soldiers with their rifles or hauled artillery pieces or big guns into position. Horses had to be trained just like everyone else to overcome fear and the noise and the smoke and the poison chemicals on the battlefield. Horses required a lot of gear, too, and food that soldiers needed to carry. Warfare changed. Jeeps came along, and tanks and bombers.
And all that put an end to the great cavalries and the horse-driven armies. The horse faded from the battlefield.
Not that we miss it, mind you. War's no fun for anybody unless it's make-believe. Hey, pipe down there, Feather Duster. This is about horses, not poultry.
Bella Faniela Catarinto, ella. Oh, yes, you bigness, you mighty steepness. Ah!
I was born on a Tennessee farm, a weeny, spindly little thing I was. I weighed 125 pounds at birth.
Oh, big baby, big a bambino.
My mom, Rosie, was a championship pulling horse from Wisconsin. Pulling horses work their hearts out. Now, these contests now are for athletes. These are for horses with strength and heart. Well, I'm not getting corny here. Personality and attitude have a lot to do with what happens to everybody.
27-6.
Belgian horses do a lot of pulling in these contests. They train like Olympic weightlifters. Right here, they're being measured for strength on the dynamometer. It measures horsepower by some kind of mathematical formula.
26 he had on his first pull.
All I know about it is, if the team's real strong and the farmer who owns them needs money, we horses get auctioned. That's what happened to my mom. Off to Tennessee to have her beautiful baby boy. Me. After a few more barns, I ended up here in Connecticut.
Glad you're here. A lot of different barns.
No, there's no use crying. Doesn't matter who owns you as long as they're kind and fair.
plowed the field. Long days in the summer sun, in the winter's chill. He never raised a voice of doubt about doing what he's meant to do. He took each moment as it come, worked till the day was done. I was raised on simple fare, lots of fields to roam. Simple shelter in the night is all that I called home. And just like any other colt, I long for the time to come when I could be like Daddy, work till the day was done.
My name is Diana Holbrecht, and I train horses. I try to basically establish a friendship with the horse first. I want them to trust me.
Excellent. Good boy.
And after that, I use a lot of praise.
Good boy.
You know, once they understand what you want,
Good
they're very
boy.
happy to do it.
Good.
Seasons turned, I grew strong, I learned the lessons well. Now in the fields I'm plowing by my daddy's strong dog. Through ages strength is fading, now my time has come. I take the lead as we climb the hills and the sunset calls us home. I was raised on simple fare, lots of fields to roam. Simple shelter in the night is all that I called home. And just like any other colt, I long for the time to come when I could be like Daddy, work till the day was done. When I could be like Daddy and work till the day was done.
Boy, even a chicken can aspire to greatness.
At this fair in Goshen, Connecticut, there was a guy who talked on the ham radio to somebody thousands of miles away in Russia. That's the Russian.
Hey, pick 'em out, balloons, souvenirs.
There were kids and balloons and giant squashes and string beans. Oh, nice. And those flappy rubber frogs that flipped into ponds when somebody whacked them with a hammer.
We hang out with all types. In fact, we speak a little human. G and haw. That means left and right. And whoa. A lot of whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Richard here, the guy who looks like Ben-Hur on that 6-horse hitch, pulling the plow, he'll explain about the bit. That cold, steely thing that goes in our mouths. Yeah.
The bit is inside the horse's mouth. Open up, Mike. And what it is just a line of communication between me and the horse. When I pull back with the line straight, that means stop. And they know if I pull on left line, which would be on the left side of the mouth, they will go left. If I pull them on the right line, which will pull on the right side of the mouth, they will go right. Just a line of communication with the horse.
You'd think after all this pulling and hauling that we might have a pretty dull life. You know, aside from eating, which is a wonderful pastime, we also horse around. Life doesn't get too complicated.
Everybody, look smart now. This is it, the Big E.
Ain't that the Big E? The Big E is the event in northeastern United States, the Fall Classic. It's a 17-day agricultural exposition in Massachusetts when we get our chance to really step out in the show lights.
There's lots of nice people around. Hey, there's Dick Sparrow and his Belgian, and Laurie, too. Hi, Laurie!
Hi, I didn't recognize you guys.
Look at everybody. Aren't we all looking sleek? Woo-wee!
Nicely done. Nicely done. Great job.
Winning's great. Oh, losing's not so great, but we horses don't dwell on those kind of things. It's just another day for us. This has got some bright lights in it, is all.
Here comes Tim Grizz of Bethany, Connecticut, winning our 6-horse Berkshire class. Nice Big E salute as he comes down victory lane.
So when you're playing with your space warriors and your trucks and your fire engines, remember the four-legged engines that came before. Horsepower. The original horsepower.
We're not fuel injected. We're not laboratory tested. Not microchipped. Not platinum dipped. We're not UL approved. Hey, we come with hooves. We're Big Horse. Say what? Yeah. Say Big Horse. Say what? The original horsepower, friend of man who pulled the plows and broke the land. So folks could eat, we worked the ground till plants came up and suns went down. Come wind and weather, we wore chains and leather. Big Horse. The real thing, you know what I mean. I mean 2,000 pounds and 4 iron feet and horsepower with a heart. Say, that gives you a start. Yeah! We're Big Horse. We're not cyber-spaced or computer-paced. We're not morphine rangers or metallic strangers. We got legs and tails and eat from bales. We eat what grows. The farmer knows we're Big Horse. Say what? I said Big Horse. We're not turbocharged, not small but large. We're Big Horse. No, nothing dainty about us. Hey there, Oreo, what's happening? Hey, man! You know you ought to do something about that cold. Yeah, you know how to. Yeah, Big Horse.
Bella Vaniela Catarinto, ela. Oh yes, you bigness, you mighty steepness. Ah!
Ooh.